This footage was shot with a $300 probe lens on a phone. I'm talking about the new NEEWER probe lens 18mm 2x macro that's available for less than $300. My name is Matt Spade, and I've been doing photography, videography, and editing for over 30 years. I'm happy to share my experience with you, and in particular with this new lens from NEEWER. It opens up a whole other world of creative possibilities that came with a much higher ticket price up until now. Let's take a look at what you get with the lens. You first get this handy carrying case. It's very sturdy. Obviously inside you get the lens mount, a USB-C charging cable for the front light. Now the front light has a high, low, and off mode. I'm not a big fan of the front light. It's not very flattering. On this particular lens, it's stuck in one temperature, so you can adjust it. Another good thing about this lens is it works on any phone, iPhone, Android. The first thing you're going to need is a way to attach the lens to your phone. I wouldn't recommend one of the clip-on solutions that some of the smaller lenses have, or the ones that go over the body of the camera. I would absolutely invest in a case like this that has the threads built into it. The other thing you should consider using is a slider. While you can use this lens handheld, if you want to do close shots like the one that you saw at the beginning, you want it to be stabilized, you want it to be on a slider. The unique macro is the big advantage of this. It's an 18mm lens. Here are some outdoor shots I did handheld. Here's in slow motion, which would give you a little bit more stabilization, and you really could use it just as an 18mm lens. The whole point of this lens is to be able to use the macro of it. Now, the two popular moves that are done with this type of lens is pull out, push in, and the slide left to right. Let's take a look at how we did this particular shot in the opening scene. So the light that I'm using is the Cello 2. It's a $300 light. I have it sitting up above the still life setup. I can't remember if I had it at 50% or 80%, but it was enough light for this shoot. The backdrop is a V-flat. The base is a faux porcelain. It's part of a photo set that has fake brick, fake wood, and obviously the products. Now what I did with this shot is using the thirds on my camera, set everything up so that the ending shot, everything was compositionally where I wanted it to be. You can also submerge the first few inches of this in water. I think it's up to the barrel where the focus ring is. In this particular shot, I just put maybe the first 2 or 3 inches into the pool to show you what this looks like. But it's interesting if you want to do that for beverage videography. This lens has a focus ring. Now with most phones, all you have to do is tap on the screen where you want your focus to be. But you can lock your focus in and use the focusing ring to maybe do a rack focus. So in conclusion, I'm a fan of this lens. I'm going to keep it. I'm certainly going to use it. It's not going to be an everyday lens like a 50 or 35 or an 85. It definitely has its own unique characteristics based on the price tag and the flexibility of being able to use it on a phone. By the way, you can also do photography with this. Here's a still image that I did for that product shoot using this lens. It's going to be a tool that I expect to have in my toolbox for a long time. So overall, I'm happy with it. When I started doing all of this work 30 plus years ago, it was almost impossible to make a movie without thousands of dollars, without serious investors. I think it's fantastic that we can pick up a Canon camera and make a movie. This right here is my bread and butter. It's the Blackmagic Cinema camera. I really enjoy the quality of the image that it gives me. Right now, I'm shooting on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I do 99% of my YouTube content is filmed on this camera, this Pocket 3 camera right here. And I also welcome the idea that this is becoming more and more acceptable. And the changes that have happened with these cameras. Being able to shoot at 24 frames per second, being able to shoot in Rec 709, ProRes, RAW. You have apps like Blackmagic, Final Cut. There's a plethora of different apps out there that will give you more control from your camera. And even with the newer phones having crazy amount of megapixels just to bring in that better image. But the point is just being able to tell your story. It still keeps you honest as far as telling your story, your composition, and yes, lighting. You can't just, shoot in a dark room. Maybe that's what the future holds. But for now, it's keeping us honest to the basics of photography, videography, filmmaking, composition, lighting, story, look. I think it's great that these things become more and more accessible for all of us to go out there and make this content with, and give everyone the opportunity to get work, or to just make something that you enjoy making. I'm happy to have it in my toolbox. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. If you've shot with probe lenses before, is this something that you're thinking of getting? And hey, if you like this video, I have other videos on the Blackmagic cinema camera and on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. These are all important tools to have. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Peace.